We're following breaking news of a construction worker rescue.
Austin was the kind of guy you want on your team. He was athletic. He was a competitor.
We're learning more about a San Diego police officer who lost his life in a fiery crash and his partner who's still fighting for his life.
They're contributing to the community, and we shouldn't demonize them.
Now we're encouraging them to immigrate illegally.
The bill that would help undocumented immigrants buy a home.
You're not just representing yourself, you're representing your country too.
We talked to a San Diegan who's competing in her third Paralympics. It's 6 a.m. on Wednesday, August 28th, and you're up with CBS 8.
We're following breaking news out of Scripps Ranch, where a construction worker sadly is dead after he became trapped in an open trench. It is 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connors.
And I'm Netta Irampour. This happened near the intersection of Hoyt Park Drive and Scripps Ranch Boulevard. And that's where CBS 8's Chris Groh is gathering information live from the scene this morning. Chris, what can you tell us?
I can tell you it's still very much an active scene as this now shifts into a recovery operation. And I want to bring in Fire Rescue Deputy Chief Dan Eddy here to just talk a little bit about what exactly first responders are looking at right now. But also let's just back up and let's talk about that call. You said it came in around 4 a.m. 2 workers at first trapped down there in the trench, right?
Yeah, we had 2 workers down there. One was able to self-extricate and get out on their own. Unfortunately, we did have one that passed away that's down here at the bottom right now that we're working on a recovery plan to get the body out of there.
What are some of the difficulties?
Dirt. We also have large encased steel pipe that is down there at the bottom too, heavy weight to it that's around the victim. So as we put our rescuers in there, as soon as they move in, that dirt's just going to keep sliding down on top of them. We have a evac truck coming that's going to help get the dirt out of the bottom there. Once we have that, we have a crane and rigging system set up to get that pipe out of there also at the same time. What you'll see behind you here is all of our rescuers setting that up, waiting for the evac truck. Once that's here, we'll start initiating getting the body recovered out of there.
And for context here, this is a pretty deep trench, right?
Yeah, it's about 20 feet deep down there. We do have multiple pipes too, and a lot of the pipes that are crossing us right now, we're finding out are actually pipes that are working right now, filling the city full of water. So we have to be careful of those too, that we don't do anything with them, and have some sort of other release of water down there as we're down there.
And I know that the number one focus is, of course, sadly about the tragedy here in which we lost that construction worker. But at the same time, obviously, a lot of folks are going to be driving. This is a pretty busy area. There should be no impact to traffic, correct?
There should be no impact. You got Scripps Ranch High School across the way from us here. Luckily, the road is open on that side. You might have one lane blocked off for some of our rescue vehicles that are here, but this is not a major thoroughfare for people to go through.
Thank you so much for helping us out, Deputy Chief. Thank you so much. And of course, for the latest updates, you can always go to CBS8.com and continue to stay with us here all morning. But for now, we're going to send things back to you, Netta and Eric.
Yeah, it's a delicate process, of course. They're concerned about their safety of the other crews as well. Chris, thank you for that. And now this morning, we're learning more about the 2 San Diego police officers involved in that deadly crash in Claremont Mesa. One of them was killed, the other in critical condition.
CBS 8's Regina Yarita live outside San Diego Police Headquarters now with everything we know here this morning. Regina, what's the latest?
Yeah, well, guys, we now know the names of the 2 officers. I can tell you that Austin Machetar is the officer who lost his life Monday night, and his partner, Zachary Martinez, who remains in the hospital in the ICU fighting for his life. Yesterday, the chief had another difficult news conference to share a little bit about the 2 officers. I can tell you just from hearing the chief, it was emotional to describe who Austin Machetar was. He was athletic. He was someone who had a passion for training, and he was someone that you wanted on your team.
He was a hero. He was working last night on all of our behalf to make sure that we are safe, and he has laid down his life in service to this city. That is a debt we'll never, ever be able to repay.
The chief also mentioned how Austin always had an infectious smile, a character that brought out the kindness in everybody. He was on the force for only 5 years. On Monday night, Austin's police car was hit by the speeding car of a suspect fleeing from police. The incident led to a fiery crash on the 5200 block of Claremont Mesa. Well, Austin, as well as the suspect, lost their lives. Austin's partner, who is 27-year-old Zachary Martinez, is suffering with critical injuries. He's currently at Sharp Memorial's intensive care unit, where he remains fighting for his life. Zachary is a Texas native who was part of the Navy, trained as an EMT. His military service brought him to San Diego, where he has served on the police for the past year and a half.
Very optimistic he's going to be okay, but he has a very long road to go.
And the San Diego Police Officers Association has set up a donation page for the two officers. They are asking the community for your support during this difficult time. That's latest here outside of the San Diego Police Headquarters in downtown. Also, thanks back to you.
Regina, thanks for the update. This is going to be an ongoing story. Be sure to stay with us for the latest on it. We'll have an update posted at CBS8.com as well. You can also follow us on social media or download the free CBS 8 app.
This morning, Sharp healthcare workers are protesting what they call safety concerns and unfair wages. Today, they're picketing outside of Sharp's Metropolitan campus. Sharp Healthcare says there are no threats to patient safety due to staffing issues. They will bring people in. Well, today, former Chula Vista Councilwoman Andrea Cardenas is expected to be sentenced. She and her brother, Jesus Cardenas, admitted to fraudulently obtaining pandemic relief funds and unemployment benefits. The money was meant to support payroll for 34 employees. Cardenas' sentencing comes nearly 5 months after her brother was sentenced to 2 years probation and 180 days in custody. And now this morning, the new Terminal 1 parking plaza at the airport is open, so you'll notice this if you're headed that way. This is just in time for the busy Labor Day weekend for travel. It'll add more than 2,800 new parking spaces. This first stage of the new parking is across from the current Terminal 1. Second stage is close to the future Terminal 1 that's under construction right now. Airport officials will hold a ribbon-cutting ceremony later on this morning.
County supervisors just voted in favor of a policy to limit the use of cell phones in schools. Supervisor Tara Lawson-Remer introduced this to help keep students focused on their studies and protect their mental health. Under the policy, county mental health experts will work with each school district to develop a plan to curb cell phone usage. Lawson-Remer says she's also working with local nonprofits to provide students with pouches or lockers to store their phones during class. Supervisors also decided to protect banned books at all 33 county public libraries. Last year, more than 4,200 books nationwide were targeted for removal from libraries, according to the American Library Association. This new county policy would make sure those challenged books are accessible here in San Diego. The county also plans to recognize and support Banned Book Week at all public libraries. That runs September 22nd through the 28th.
Grabbing a book, going down to the beach, not a bad idea every single day this week.
Sounds like a nice recipe here for this Wednesday.
Fantastic rest of the week ahead. We're going to warm up a bit by the time we get to Labor Day weekend and Labor Day itself. But in the meantime, cooler than normal temperatures. That brings us down to the 80s across many of our inland valleys. Couple low 90s to work with. Ramona, Campo, we're talking to you. However, everywhere else along the coast and inland, we'll be looking at 70s and 80s for this afternoon. One of the contributing factors, this marine layer close to the coastline, allowing for some fog out there, but it's pretty limited. Just overcast skies is what we're seeing. Mid-70s along the coastline, mid-80s inland. They'll have a bit more cloud cover along the coast and inland than what we see across the mountains and deserts. Mountains going for the upper 80s this afternoon and 108. Not much of a cool down for our local deserts. When we look at your forecast highs today, Santee and El Cajon, a high of 86 degrees. Still warm out there, but at least no longer in the 90s. You get off to the coastline, Pacific Beach, 71, 77 for San Diego, 80 for Mira Mesa. Up in North County, we're looking pretty good as well. 71 for Encinitas, 73 for Del Mar, 83 for RB and Poway as well. And then for those mountains and deserts, again, still pretty warm for this afternoon. The cool down will be felt a bit more going into the next couple days because Thursday and Friday will add some additional cooling for most spots in the county, especially toward East County. So between now and Friday, you see how we'll keep dropping in terms of those afternoon high temperatures, and then a climb comes for Saturday and Sunday. That climb will continue into even Monday and Tuesday, making for a warm Labor Day itself. Right now out the door, 67 in Chula Vista, 65 in Santee, and 67 in Carlsbad. Almost everyone along the coast and inland is working with that marine layer, but by the time we get to about 9 and 10 a.m., we'll start to see it push back and we'll all be left with sunshine. Coming up, we'll talk more about what next week looks like and about the rest of this week, where we do start to incorporate some more of that monsoonal moisture, meaning a risk of some showers over the mountains almost exclusively. That's coming up in a few. Let's check in on traffic this morning. So far, drive times out the door are looking pretty good. I want to take you to one stalled vehicle that just popped up on our traffic maps. This in the Miramar area. We've got the right-hand shoulder blocked with a stalled vehicle on the 15 northbound. This is right at Miramar Way. We are not seeing any major backups right now. Volume is still very light here at the 6 o'clock hour. So we'll keep monitoring this, make sure that it has been completely pushed that right-hand shoulder, although CHP, that's what they have logged right now, is that there are no lanes blocked with this stalled vehicle. So we'll let you know once this is completely cleared. Border wait times are at 125 minutes at the San Ysidro Port of Entry. Over 2 hours it'll take you. It'll be significantly quicker, almost a full hour quicker to get across the Otay Mesa Port of Entry right now at 70 minutes in total.